You know what's absolutely wild? Right now, as you're watching this, there's a conversation happening inside your head. And I'm not talking about the one where you're wondering if you left the stove on, or whether that text you sent 3 hours ago was too much. I'm talking about the running commentary that never stops. The voice that's been with you since you were old enough to think. The one that's probably right now saying something like, "Oh great, another self-help video. Let me guess, I just need to think positive, and all my problems will vanish." See? There it is. That's the voice I'm talking about. And here's the kicker. That voice, that constant internal chatter, is literally creating your entire reality. Not metaphorically, not spiritually, actually creating it. And most of us are walking around, letting this voice run wild, like a toddler with a megaphone at a library. Now, before you roll your eyes and click away, stay with me. Because I'm not about to tell you to paste affirmations on your bathroom mirror and hope for the best. Though honestly, if that's working for you, keep doing it. What I am going to tell you is how this whole inner voice thing actually works. Why it's probably been sabotaging you in ways you haven't even noticed, and what you can do about it starting literally today. And I promise to make this entertaining, because if we're going to talk about rewiring your brain, we might as well have some fun doing it. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that the moment you decide you want something, really want something, your brain immediately serves up a list of reasons why you can't have it? It's like having a personal heckler living rent-free in your head. You think, "I'm going to start that business." And immediately the voice goes, "With what money? You can barely balance your checkbook. Remember that succulent you killed last month? You can't even keep a plant alive and you want to run a business." Or you decide you're going to get in shape, and before you've even laced up your sneakers, the voice is already planning your failure. You exercise. Remember that gym membership you paid for all of last year and used exactly twice? And one of those times was just to use the bathroom? This isn't your imagination being cruel for fun. This is actually your inner voice doing what it thinks is its job, which is keeping you safe. The problem is, your inner voice is working with outdated software. It's running on a system that was designed to keep you from being eaten by tigers, not to help you thrive in the modern world. So it treats your dream of public speaking the same way it would treat an actual physical threat. Your brain can't tell the difference between you bombing a presentation and you being chased by a predator. Both situations get the same alarm system, the same panic, the same voice screaming, "Danger! Abort mission. Return to couch immediately." And here's where it gets really interesting. Your subconscious mind, that deep part of you that's running the show behind the scenes, is incredibly literal. It's like the most obedient employee you've ever had, except it has no critical thinking skills whatsoever. You tell it something, and it goes, "Got it, boss," and gets to work making it happen. It doesn't question whether what you're saying is true or false, helpful or harmful, a joke or serious. It just accepts it and starts creating evidence to support it. So when your inner voice says, "I'm so bad with money," your subconscious doesn't stop to fact-check that statement. It doesn't pull up your bank records and run an analysis. It just says, "Okay, we're bad with money. Let me make sure we stay consistent with that identity." And suddenly, you're finding yourself making impulsive purchases, forgetting to pay bills on time, or mysteriously avoiding looking at your bank account. Not because you're actually bad with money, but because you told yourself you were, and your subconscious is just trying to be helpful by proving you right. It's like when you buy a red car, and suddenly you see red cars everywhere. The red cars were always there. Your brain just wasn't filtering for them. Now it is. Same thing with your inner voice. Tell yourself you're unlucky, and your brain will filter your entire experience to show you evidence of your bad luck. Tell yourself people don't like you, and your brain will interpret every neutral interaction as proof of rejection. Tell yourself you're not creative, and your brain will conveniently forget to mention all those times you solved problems in clever ways or came up with ideas nobody else thought of. The crazy part? This works both ways. This is the good news hiding in all of this. If your inner voice can create evidence for negative beliefs, it can absolutely create evidence for positive ones. And I'm not talking about delusional thinking here. I'm talking about accurate, truthful reframing that actually serves you instead of sabotaging you. Let me give you an example. Let's say you make a mistake at work. Your inner voice has options here. Option 1. Of course I messed up. I always mess up. I'm so stupid. Everyone probably thinks I'm incompetent. I should probably just quit before they fire me. Your subconscious hears this and starts collecting evidence. It remembers every other mistake you've ever made. It interprets your coworker's yawn as disappointment in you. It makes you nervous in the next meeting, which makes you stumble over your words, which then becomes more evidence that you're incompetent. Option 2, same mistake. Okay, I made an error. That's useful information. Now I know what doesn't work. I'm learning. Every expert I admire has made mistakes. This is part of the process of getting better. Your subconscious hears this version and starts collecting different evidence. It remembers all the things you've done well. It notices when your coworker smiles at you. It helps you feel more confident in the next meeting because you're someone who learns from mistakes, not someone who's defined by them. Same external event, same mistake, completely different reality created by the inner voice. Now I know what you're thinking. Great. So I just need to be positive all the time and never acknowledge when things are actually hard? No, absolutely not. That's toxic positivity, and it's just as damaging as constant negativity. What I'm talking about is something different. I'm talking about being the kind of friend to yourself that you would be to someone you genuinely care about. Think about it. If your best friend came to you and said, I made a mistake at work and I feel terrible, you wouldn't say, yeah, you're right, you're incompetent, and everyone hates you. You'd probably say something like, that sounds rough. Mistakes happen. What did you learn from it? What's your plan going forward? You'd be honest but supportive, realistic but encouraging. That's the voice we're aiming for. Not delusional cheerleading, but genuine support. Here's something most people don't realize. Your inner voice isn't just affecting your feelings, it's affecting your actual, measurable, external results. When you walk into a job interview telling yourself, I'm probably not qualified enough. They're going to see right through me. I'm going to bomb this. You show up differently than when you walk in thinking, I have valuable skills and experience. This is a conversation about whether we're a good mutual fit. Your body language changes. Your tone changes. Your ability to think clearly changes. The interviewer picks up on all of this, even if they can't articulate what they're sensing. Same thing with relationships. If your inner voice is constantly telling you that you're not interesting enough, not attractive enough, not enough period, you show up in social situations trying to prove your worth instead of just being yourself. People can feel that energy. It's uncomfortable. Not because there's anything wrong with you, but because you're not being authentic. You're performing, and your inner voice has written you a terrible script. There's this fascinating concept in psychology called the self-fulfilling prophecy. Basically, if you believe something is true, you unconsciously behave in ways that make it become true. Students who are told they're gifted perform better, not because they're actually more intelligent, but because the expectation changes how they approach learning. Athletes who believe they can win train differently, focus differently, perform differently. Your inner voice is creating these prophecies all day, every day, and you're fulfilling them without even realizing it. So how do we change this? How do we reprogram a voice that's been running the same script for years, maybe decades? Here's the framework I want you to understand. Your inner voice is made up of 3 main ingredients: past experiences, other people's opinions that you've internalized, and repetitive thought patterns. The good news is that all 3 of these can be updated. Let's start with past experiences. Your brain loves patterns. It takes what happened before and assumes it will happen again. This was useful when we needed to remember which berries were poisonous, but it's less useful when you're letting one bad presentation in 10th grade convince you that you're terrible at public speaking forever. The key here is to remind your brain that it's working with incomplete data. 1 experience is not a pattern. 5 experiences are not a pattern. Your brain is making predictions based on a tiny sample size and calling it fact. When your inner voice brings up a past failure, you can acknowledge it without letting it define your future. Yes, that presentation in 10th grade was rough. I was also 15, unprepared and terrified. That was one data point from many years ago. It doesn't determine what I'm capable of now. You're not arguing with reality. You're just refusing to let one piece of historical data become your entire identity. The second ingredient, other people's opinions, is a big one. So much of your inner voice isn't even your voice. It's your third grade teacher who said you weren't good at math. It's your parent who always seemed disappointed. It's your ex who made that comment about your laugh. It's society telling you that you should look a certain way, act a certain way, achieve certain things by certain ages. You've internalized all of this, and now it plays on repeat, like a bad playlist you forgot you subscribed to. The question to ask yourself is this: whose voice is that really? When you think, I'm not smart enough, is that actually your assessment based on evidence? Or is it something someone once told you that you've been repeating ever since? When you think, I could never pull that off, is that true? Or is it just that nobody in your family ever did anything like that, so you assume you can't either? Here's a radical idea. You get to choose which voices you keep and which ones you evict. Just because someone said something about you doesn't mean you have to carry it around forever like emotional luggage. You can say, thank you for your opinion, but I'm choosing a different belief. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but that's because we've overcomplicated this whole thing. The third ingredient is repetitive thought patterns, and this is where the real work comes in. Your brain has literally carved neural pathways based on the thoughts you think most often. It's like walking through a field. The first time, you're pushing through tall grass. The second time, there's a slight path. The 100th time, there's a clear trail. Your thought patterns are those trails. The more you think something, the easier it becomes to think it again. The beautiful thing about neuroplasticity, which is just a fancy way of saying your brain can change, is that you can create new trails, but you have to actually walk them. You can't just think about walking them. You can't just know they exist. You have to repeatedly choose the new thought until it becomes easier than the old one. This is where most people give up. They try thinking positive for 3 days, don't see immediate results, and decide it doesn't work. But you've been thinking your current thoughts for how long? Years? Decades? And you expect 3 days of different thoughts to completely rewire everything? That's like going to the gym once and wondering why you don't have abs yet. Let me give you a practical framework for actually changing your inner voice. I call it the catch, question, redirect method. First, you catch the thought. You notice when your inner voice is being unhelpful.